little bit unique.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Cool.
You want to be in it, didn't you?
Claim to fame, mate. Claim to fame. Alright, so I'm Montel here, delighted to be joined by Olympic medalist for 2024, Richardson. Thank you for your time, sir.
Good.
First question for you, obviously, how is it feeling? Like, how have you taken the atmosphere yet? What is it like fighting in the hometown, professional debut? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm definitely taking in the atmosphere, just embracing it all for everything it has to offer, and like days like today, the press conference yesterday, the weigh-in today, and one more day to go into the main event.
And obviously, what I want to know is how has it been? Obviously, the difference between being in the amateurs and obviously going to the Olympics. What's the training like returning pro? Is it different? Is it more intense? What's it like?
I would say the biggest difference is the duration of the boxing sessions. So for me in particular, my runs, my condition and my strength work has all stayed pretty similar. Small adjustments but similar, but the boxing sessions in particular have sort of, I wouldn't say necessarily intensified, because the intensity was always high when an amateur, but I would certainly say that the duration has increased, and then when I'm resting and recovering, it's a lot more important now, because it's so important to be able to do that to then go again the following day.
No, of course, that makes a lot of sense. And what about the newfound popularity? I mean, that must be a huge increase for you as well, especially fighting hometown, like I mentioned before. Like, what's that like, the newfound popularity? Yeah,
off the back of the Olympics, it certainly increased my profile, and you know, it's been so much positive support and love, and I really appreciate it, and I embrace it as well, because it's important to be able to connect with the people who support you, and they're coming from far and wide nowadays, and I really appreciate that, and it's all good. I embrace it, I enjoy it, and I'm very grateful for it.
No, of course, I can imagine. Obviously, it's a huge opportunity on Queensbury. What's it been like joining Queensbury? What's it been like with the team, working with them?
Yeah, Queensbury and Frank have been fantastic so far. So I'm sure that'll continue to be that way. And listen, it's the start of a very exciting journey, and I'm very grateful to be part of that. And I believe the sky's the limit with myself and Frank as my promoter.
No, of course. And obviously, cutting weight's never an easy thing to do. What's it been like cutting weight? I know you just weighed in. You're probably very tired. So thank you for your time again. But what's it been like weighing in?
Nah, it's all good. I'm healthy. I'm always, I prepare diligently. I'm always fit and healthy. I do the right things at the right times, and making weight's all good. No need to stress about that.
No, of course. And I think something I want to get into is more the mindset side of things. So, like, what was actually your inspiration to actually start boxing in general and go, do you know what? This is what I want to do. This is what I want to commit to. Obviously, everyone knows it's not an easy sport. So, what was it like?
I was curious. I'm quite a curious individual. I always like to see what's going on, see what's what, and I like to delve a little bit deeper. And ultimately, I went down to the boxing gym with a group of 11, 12 friends from the local council estate, and we found ourselves, just getting amongst it, and I never really left that, following that day.
No, of course, and I imagine it's been an amazing journey since. So obviously, to inspire the younger generation of people that want to try it as well, what would your words of inspiration be? What tips do you have to give them?
I think most importantly, you got to enjoy it, enjoy what you do. You have to be disciplined, you have to work hard. They're the non-negotiables, but important to surround yourself with positive people that are going to impact your life in a positive manner, and also listen to your coaches. They're the real heroes, especially the grassroots coaches. They're the heroes of this sport.
No, of course. And I think lastly, I just want to touch on something else as well, similar to that. It's like, obviously, you mentioned your inspiration, you mentioned the journey so far, but have you dispelled any myths or something about boxing so far, in terms of, like, normally there's questions always around what's it like being a boxer? There's any myths that you dispelled becoming a boxer?
I don't know really. I think if the first thing that comes to mind when you say that is just the fact that boxing has to be this super macho sport where you have to be really aggressive, and you have to be really tough and things like that. You have to have elements of that mental resilience and toughness, and of course physically you have to be fit and strong. But it's such an art to boxing, and sometimes only the pure boxing fans really appreciate that. But I would certainly say the skill of boxing is so much more important than just being able to punch hard or just being able to take a good shot.
And lastly, literally last question now, don't worry. So what do the fans have to look forward to on Saturday? What are they in for to see you first time in a pro debut?
I think they'll see a skillful, eloquent boxer who, you know, can do a bit of both. You know, I can box, but I can also fight if I need to. But the skills pay the bills. But also, you know, I want to be able to appeal to the, you know, to the wider audience. I'm an honest, hard-working man who's really, you know, pushed himself to be the best version he can be, and I've been able to do that in the amateurs and win the Olympic medal, and now it's about going and do that in the professionals with ambitions to win a world title.
Well, congratulations, I'm going to tune in, I can't wait, and hopefully everyone else tunes in on the zone to see that. But good luck, sir, and pleasure for your time again, man.